Hi guys, welcome to the channel, welcome back if you've watched my other videos. You might know or not know that I've been trying to catch up with dioramas because I had a session of just building tanks, building models, and I had some figures in reserve and I had some ideas for dioramas. If you go back a few videos, you'll be able to see I discuss like all the upcoming projects that I've got. But yeah, so today was returning to the M48 tank from Vietnam, and I've bought these figures that you can see, master box figures, which was a patrol in US soldiers in Vietnam on patrol, and there's a female figure, like a Vietnamese figure, which I'm going to use for another diorama. So I'm left with the 4 American soldiers and the M48, and I'm going to do super simple, just strip of road, because the figures are lovely and detailed, and I like the M48 tank that's complete. So really I didn't want to do too busy and complex a base for it. I was seeing loads on Instagram recently, just super detailed and talented and skilled dioramas on a really small base with lots of, construction and streams and bridges and trees and bushes and grasses and all sorts of stuff. Sometimes I feel like challenging myself, but I just wanted to paint the figures really, and just situate them just in quite a plain diorama. So the way I went about the figures, there was a sprue of figure parts and then there was a sprue of equipment. So I built the figures completely, heads on, and everything. The thing with US soldiers from the Vietnam War, they're just a pretty standard green for most of the equipment and uniforms. And the kit and backpacks and bergens are slightly darker olive green. But then when you see lots of photographs, the soldiers are wet or they've been bleached by the sun a little bit. They're sweating or they're waist high in a stream. So it's the greens, the shades of greens that I've seen vary across a wide spectrum. So I just painted the men, and then I painted the equipment separate, and I just brought them together with super glue. I'm certainly no expert at painting figures. They're just to enhance a model to me when you've got them in a diorama, and I like the kits because they're cheap. The kits of figures, and these ones were lovely. I've used just Vallejo's skin, flesh tone. I've used gunship green for the uniforms and black boots. I've used some khaki grey by Vallejo for some of the straps, but then some of the straps on the US soldiers are olive green. So but there was quite a bit of equipment for them. There was 3 or 4 hat options for each figure as well, and you could have left the hats off because their heads were fully formed as well. Nice kit, really nice kit. I do use kind of a base colour, and then I use a lighter colour dry brush to pick out the detail, the creases, and I do then use a wash, like a pin wash of black, to do the opposite, to sit in the grooves and the shadows. And on the face, do the same thing. I use flesh tone, and then I have light rust as a wash, which kind of gives it a kind of tan, orangey kind of tan shade in the recesses. And then I'll use just buff or Iraqi sand as to pick out a couple of highlights, just the brow and the cheekbones. That's all I do to paint faces. What was nice about these figures, they were on some kind of infiltration or patrol that involved them having quite substantial packs. So I thought it was nice to have them just on a roadside, returning or just heading out, and the tank there just to make a little kind of story of what was happening. So like I say, it's going to be simple. It's quite a narrow piece of board that I use, the hardwood board that doesn't have any give or bend, and it's got a bit of a texture on top. It's a floorboard, so the plaster sticks really well to it. So I've just put 2 layers of polystyrene on the back as a banking, and yeah, I've just got a nice kind of whipped cream consistency to the plaster. There's some coffee grounds in it, just to add a bit of a grain. And I'm just keeping it nice and rough. It's like a muddy road, or a dry dirt road that has been chopped up in the rain during wet weather, and then has dried in with ridges. That was the kind of thing I was going for. I don't know what I'm going to do next, guys, because I've done the trench. If you've seen that video, if not, go back and have a look. Again, I was switching to more diorama stuff after I'd done several models, so I did a nice little trench with some figures in, and this was the similar materials and similar mindset, really, being creative. And I don't know if I'm going to go back to model making after this, or maybe do another diorama for one of my tanks that are already complete. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. I don't want to get too carried away doing lots of different foliage and different effects and building structures. I did start off with some foam board, and I did like a little street of houses in Saigon, which I'd copied off some photographs that I'd seen online, and they were brightly coloured kind of houses with verandas. So I wasted a long time on that, really, because they didn't sit right on a base. I'd done them too deep, so I've scrapped them anyway. But that's what made me just want to do a simple kind of country road, because trying to master the character of typical Vietnamese architecture was just a step too far for me. It's stopping being fun. And yeah, just got back to something a bit simpler. Easy colours as well. Yellow ochre for the sandy kind of mud of Vietnam, and some tints and highlights on that, and then some static grass. The plaster is absorbent, so when you're painting this kind of thickness of plaster, you could use loads of water, and the paint seems to spread and spread and spread, and I enjoy using this kind of working on this kind of surface. To me, the way that it soaks the paint up, it seems realistic, and it's you can combine different colours and throw loads of water at it, and the paint will pool in areas like in where I've laid the tracks down to make a pattern on the ground. I think it's a realistic surface to try and recreate the effects of ground. So I've got my spray tub with diluted PVA in, and I've got some static grass, but I've not got an applicator, so I just kind of clump it up and lay it down. So the banking that's away from where the tanks and the vehicles are running has still got grass on it, and then there's patches of grass on the road as well. Guys, I think the future is that I'm going to start running out of space with these dioramas, so I might have to sell, or at least see if there's a market for them on eBay, or maybe set up an Etsy. I'll be sad to part with them, but I'm going to have to select a few that are taking up the most space and list them, I think, with or without the models on them. So any advice, is welcome, appreciated. Kind of prices and where to sell them, I don't know. Some of them will be difficult to post. Some of them will be okay because they're mainly flat. This one I've stuck a branch in as a tree, but I could always disconnect that, I think, if I was wanting to post this. But yeah, the space, the crisis of space in the room where I work, so it's certainly on the cards. Well, let me know if you've had a go selling these little dioramas over the internet, and yeah, if you've got any advice. So what I try to do when I put a vehicle and men into a situation is make sure that the colour is consistent. So I've got the Vallejo mud effects, the palest colour, the sand, and I've brushed it on between the tank tracks and on the side of the path. I've brushed it on as like a dried up sand effect, but I'm also putting it on the legs and shoes of the soldiers as well, and that way they don't look like they're just plonked onto a surface. They look like they're part of the situation and the environment. I also brushed it onto the tracks of the tank, just so that one dusty colour was represented in everything that was on the board. The static grass looks really light. I think it's because there's a layer of PVA underneath it. That's darker now, I think. Sometimes it's hard to show the colour clearly. So this is it, guys, just in the light of my bathroom. It's the best light in the house. The soldiers are just stood around chatting. The tank's obviously stationary, and it's just a really simple plaster road. I spent the week painting the men and assembling the men, but in the end the actual diorama came together really quickly. I love that tank. Yeah. And the colours seem to work. Let me know what you think, guys. Not really used any different techniques for this one, or it's just showing you how you can put something together really simply and effectively for your favourite tanks. Cheers, guys, thanks for watching. As always, click thumbs up and check the Instagram out for a few more detailed pictures. And yeah, let me know what you think. Cheers.